In this final lesson, we'll just do some last-minute tweaks to some of our materials and then create a final rendered image. Alright, so here is a render of where it stands now. A few of the things that I might want to change are maybe increase or decrease rather the opacity of some of this glass. Make the metal inside here a bit darker. Okay, those are a couple of things that I can see, and also maybe increase the saturation and kind of the orangey color of this reflector. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for that. So on this anodized metal here, I'm going to go ahead and lower this value way down to something more like that, and we can give it kind of another kind of finish to increase or help with that. All right, and the next thing that I want to do is go into our reflector orange, go into that cellular, and let's go ahead and increase the value and saturation, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a bit darker as well. Give it a little bit more red, so give it something more like that. Okay, and then this, I'm going to go ahead and increase that saturation and again give it a little bit more red. Okay, and so it ends up being a little bit more on the red side. Okay, and I can increase the value there and give you something a little bit more like that. So you can see it's got a little bit more red into it. In the glass, I'm going to go ahead and decrease the opacity down to about 20. And you can play with these values to your heart's content as far as just getting what you want. I'm just kind of tweaking things a little bit so I like them a little bit better. On this seal, I want to make sure that we've got the seal actually smoothed. You can see right now it's not. So I'm going to go to Modify, and let's make sure that we've just got our subdivision on, whatever smoothing method you want to actually use. And I want to actually make sure I assign the rubber to this. So we've got the rubber right here, so we'll go ahead and assign that. All right. And so just kind of check things over and make sure things are looking the way that you want them to. Okay, I want to make sure that I've got on this emblem up here, I want to make sure that I've got my chrome dropped onto there. All right. Now let's go ahead and kind of frame up our camera the way that we want it. Maybe something kind of like that, maybe. Something a little bit more like that. And feel free to kind of move it around however you want. And let's go ahead and take another render and see how this is looking. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pause as this renders. All right, that's actually not looking too bad. Might want to change a couple things. I still want to maybe make this a little bit more transparent, maybe change the angle a little bit. I think this looks a lot better. It kind of was blending in a little bit too much with the rest of the body. If your car is a different color, it may have looked fine for you. It just depends on what color you've got your car. So I'm going to go ahead and in the glass, in the diffuse, I'm going to go ahead and dial that down to a darker black. And let's go ahead and let's just check our opacity. You make that about 15. And let's go ahead and get kind of a little bit different angle there. So a little bit, something more like that. We can kind of see everything and see what it all looks like. Now let's go ahead and any of the tweaks you want to make, and we'll go ahead and just render again. And then once again, I will pause, and we'll see if this is our final render or not. So that looks a little bit better there. And so now we've got some basic materials on here, and you saw how quickly we were able to add things like the car paint and different the architectural and design material with the rubber and all of those types of materials to really get an interesting look here. Really a nice look for the time we've put into it. So feel free to take this as far as you want with not only with the modeling, but also with the materials and the texturing and the rendering. So there we go, and there's our finished Mustang. This brings us to the conclusion of automotive modeling in 3dsMax. Over the course of the last several hours, we built a realistic Mustang from start to finish. We began very simply by using primitive geometry. We were then able to combine geometry to start building out the main body of the car. We used several polygon modeling tools to redraw the topology to better suit our needs and to add resolution to create a great, smooth result. We also looked at how to separate our model into panels, mimicking the construction of an actual car. And finally, we added some appropriate materials and created a final image of our completed vehicle. Now, the tools and methods we used will provide a great base from which you can create a workflow that fits your needs when creating vehicles or hard surface models of any kind. So to continue your education and expand your skill set, I encourage you to visit us online where you'll find all the latest announcements. Built on educational values, Digital Tutor started with a simple vision in mind to help new and experienced artists become more productive by learning new software and production techniques. We've been a leading online resource for free video-based training and have been instrumental in aiding millions of artists on a daily basis. Learn more about the multitude of training solutions we offer for various areas of the production pipeline at digitaltutors.com.